Alright, let's get the game going. I stayed up till 7 a.m. today, so I completely screwed up my sleep cycle. That's okay. I've done worse. But yeah, I also had a stream, quote-unquote, for about 10 minutes last night, because I was recording footage, and when I turned off my recording, I accidentally started my stream, but thankfully it was just 10 minutes of nothing, because I had gone to the bathroom. But yeah, I was playing The Long Drive, which is I find survival games very compulsive, to the point where I probably shouldn't play them anymore. But yeah, what I was doing yesterday, off stream, I put in windows for most of these places. So it's coming along. I think we will not reach the targeted date of today to finish all of the exteriors, but we'll at least get most of the exterior stuff done. All the easy stuff, at least. But without further ado, let's get back into it. What I'll be doing is making windows, as you might imagine. Because I only have 3 buildings left. I have Madame Blue's house, the Weston house, which will be quite a challenge since there's a lot of custom windows on this, and then the gas station, which will be less of a challenge because it's also custom windows, but I think it's 4 windows on the entire building. Though actually, I think I should redo the layout of the building first. Because something that I don't like about it is the fact that the storage you have to go out of the building to get the exterior, which was only because I had already laid out this area here. But I think what I could do is just design this better. The main thing that I would do is I would swap the bathrooms and the storage. So in fact, let's do that now. Oh, I see. Wait. Oh, I see. Okay. And then what I would do, so this is now where the restrooms would be. You can see my mad machinations in action. And this also makes sense because now the office is directly accessible. So the only tricky part, quote unquote, is that now we need to do... Wait, why is this... well, I'll keep it this way. Basically, I'm wondering why is this even modeled when I could just use a solidify modifier. But eventually I need to use this anyway because I need to soften out these edges, for example. So I'll do that now. Oh yeah, I also finally figured out why follow active quads for blend shapes. So I was complaining about how I couldn't use follow active quads how I wanted it to until I reset. It actually does make sense. There's a reason for it. Basically, if the UV map for this rectangle was messed up, but this one was correct, I can select all of these and then do this, and then I can do follow active quads, and it'll, as you might imagine, follow this active quad and try to make all of these other things look good. In fact, I have an idea. Because these UVs are kind of messed up. And I know ADHD brain here, but this is important. I need to show the kiddos how Blender works. So you can see how these UVs are kind of ugly. But hopefully, if I do follow active quads, it looks basically the same. Because I already did this. I just wanted to try cutting here, marking this as a seam, so that way this section would look a little less messy, but I think it's just because it's this tiny little stretched quad, so it's inevitably going to be messy looking. So, that was a failure. I have failed to teach you anything new. But okay, I think what I would do is I would add this here. And for now, I'm just going to do that. And so now, where will I put? Oh wait, I don't need that. How is this? What is this? Oh, I see. So this is the right place for this. I'm trying to think. Didn't I have a dream or something that was interesting that I can talk about? That's the challenge with making video games. At some point, I stop having interesting things to say. But okay, actually, let's also get this whole thing. We don't need it to be so big. And that'll give us a little bit more space here. What is this? Interesting. I must have done something dumb. But okay, now we have a storage space with no back access. Oh wait, I actually will have an opportunity to show this off. Okay, dissolve this vertex. Why is this here? Oh, I see. It was because I needed it. But okay, now it's the time for the thing to shine. And then, I'll just put this like this. So now this is the rear access to get things into the storage room. Which doesn't make any sense. Because you would put it here first still. You know, you put it like right here. And then let's say there's some larger door that they would use for that. I don't need to think about doors yet. That's for today, later today. Right now, I only need to think about windows. And the general layout of the building, but that's, you know. There we go. Now we have our new and improved system. Big long storage room behind these thingies. And also, just for the aesthetic of it, I do like having being able to see behind these. So eventually this will actually be a cooler where you can properly see a little bit of this back area. Okay, now it all makes sense to me. See, this is a bathroom, or these are bathrooms. Now it's all perfect. Does beg the question as to why the... Ah, well. Okay. And I guess while we're here, let's figure out the window situation. So I think all of these, they're just gonna be flat planes. Maybe there'll be a little bar in the middle of these. I can show you my awesome new technique. Oh, whoops. There we go. Alright, so what is the rotation here? 34 degrees? I always like the x-axis to be horizontal. Otherwise, I'm going to get tripped up. Okay, let's do some standardized units. So everything here is in metric right now. 1.3 meters tall. Oh, I see. It's even taller than that. Yeah, 1.5 meters seems right. Oh, this is a wide window. 4 meters by 1.5 meters. Well, I'll go with it. And admittedly, these are so consistent as to the point where it might be noticeable to the player. Because I always do 0.1 meters. Oh. Why did that not take the first time? The problem with having multiple languages is that you switch between them with Alt-Shift, and in Blender that's just like a thing that you do a billion times, a key combination that you need a lot. And it's very easy to accidentally do it with how many times you, like, press keys. Okay, and then my advanced technique, forbidden technique. We generate... Actually, hang on. I do not move the origin point of the object from this vertex, just for my convenience. Okay, then we're going to do a solidify. So I think... Okay, so this area, these walls are thicker. Do I want them to be thicker? I'm just not going to have them be any thicker. I'm just going to use my standard layout, like measurements for everything. Everything is 0.4 meters exterior walls, 0.3 meters interior walls. That does mean that now I have to double check all of these, like, walls here to make sure that things are, like, reasonably lined up. I guess it'd only be this and these things, which now you can see. Move them back a little bit. Boom. And this is like a sunglass rack or something like that. Do I want this more? I'll keep it here. We need a little landing zone. So here's our congregation place where people will stand and talk and annoy everybody else trying to pass through. What was I doing? Window. Okay, so do I want a interior bar, for example? The question of the ages. Also, I'm going to make this material here something different. That way I can just tell the window frame apart. Oh. There we go. Okay. Does this thing feel... This little band here... Wait, why does it feel so much... Oh, I see. Okay. It's because I was getting distracted by this gap between these two panes of glass. But okay, let's rename this, or let's rename this to... gas station window collision. And one thing I realized is that when I import things into Godot, I was having issues where things would, like, randomly break. It turns out it's because in Godot, the things need like a unique name when they're imported. So like once the suffix is stripped from a thing. And sometimes I wasn't doing that. So like one particular door, every single time I changed anything here, it felt like it would break and I'd have to redo the door because it was this thing. Because it used to just be named frame-collision. And I think it's because, like, there was another thing called frame-like S-body or something like that. So when the prefixes or suffixes were stripped, they would, like, be named the same thing. That's why I'm going to be, like, specific with these. Let's call this, like, gas station glass. Oh, yeah, and then we have to actually, like, parent stuff. What do we need? This. I still don't know why sometimes I need to have this transform here, and sometimes I don't need it. You know, there's a lot of mysteries in Blender. And because I'm lazy, let's just, Oh. It's not quite enough to be 2 panes. Alright. Different tactic. Nope. Let's do... Wait, did I just realized, did I actually make sure this window was, like, sized correctly? I guess I did, I think. Oh, well. Are these, like, sticking out? I think they are. Yeah. Okay, there we are. And now we can duplicate this window to the other side. Actually, I just had a magical idea. I forgot I can do this, and that was the entire point of having these lined up like this. So now, we have perfectly symmetrical windows. I should have them be symmetrical, actually. So I think this is lined up correctly. So what is this? Okay, x-axis, negative 2.5. Let's say that. And I'm going to try to make this all, like... Yeah, let's make this all symmetrical. There we go. The value of that is now I can just get this all looking nice. Okay, anything else that I want? I guess I'd want windows for the bathrooms now. Let's do my wide windows. My world-famous wide bathroom window. And the nice part about these ones is that they use my, my, like, Blender importing script. So that way, like, this is actually a reference to, like, the Blender file. Okay, let's do, Oop. And you can tell these ones were not configured correctly. Yeah, I didn't start doing that thing where, like, I can, like, instantly snap to the correct vertex. Okay. But that's good enough for now. Okay. Ooh, whoops. Okay. Interesting. Oh, I see. I kept creating more duplicates instead of doing Shift S to snap. Okay, but now this should be where I want it to be. And once this game is done, I mentioned it on my video today. At the Ends of Eras is going to continue being that sort of back burner thing. But I do want to get back into it more once I'm done with this. Though it has been nice to kind of like chill and do nothing. Oh wait, no. To chill and not work on the other game. Because At the Ends of Eras is hard to work on. What window would I like? I think one of these medium square windows would be perfect. And eventually I should learn how to use Blender's new asset system. Because that way, I'd basically be doing, instead of like copying and pasting things, I could just drag them from a little window into here. Though, would they have the correct naming? That'd be a question. Alright, where would the windows be? I see. Oh wait, I just had a superpower. I can do this. And I can view the... There we go. Yeah, because At the Ends of Eras is something that I think has, like, changed me as a person for the better, which is a lot to say about, like, a game that I'm making that's not even done yet. But, like, I don't think I'd be able to make this game without At the Ends of Eras. And all the work that I've put into it and all the thought that I've put into it. But okay. I won't even bother going into Godot, because I know what I'll do when I go there, which is to make that correct. Let's do Madame Blue's house. So we're going to need some wide windows. And then a narrow window. And I think I can just use the same type of window for all of these. Probably, this is a wide 3. I think we just need a wide 2. Hang on, I'm going to change the color of this. All of our houses are going to be green from now on. So that way I can, like, see the windows. Yeah, I think this one is a little too big. And a little too modern. Yeah. We need wide 2. I need to go on an adventure and find it. Maybe... Old Man's house. No, he uses wide 3 as well. I specifically made it for his house. Maybe this one. Wide 1. We could do a wide 1. Make her house a little more claustrophobic. And you can tell I'm trying to get in more of the habit of like not having to constantly go back into here and spend 15 minutes trying to figure out where anything is. Probably good. Okay, what's the rotation on this? No rotation. Interesting. Grids are funny things like that, I guess. Okay. I don't believe it. Yeah, because this is pretty clearly rotated. Did I, like... Huh. Oh, I see. It's because it's showing the local transforms for some reason. Okay, well... Let's just plop some windows into here. So I'm thinking, do I want more complicated window? Or not more complicated windows, bigger windows? Like, is this too small for this area? Wait, is this too wide? Hang on. Stick to standardized window or wall widths. Because admittedly, 0.4 is already too wide. Like, I'm noticing from my own house that, like, the walls are probably like 20 centimeters wide. Which would make sense because I assume they're, like, it's framed with 2x4s and then there's drywall on top of it. So it'd be like 6 inches wide. And 6 inches is basically 15 centimeters. Yeah, so these walls are like twice as thick, but that's okay because it feels correct in-game. Because, you know, scale gets inherently distorted. And as dumb as it is, I think it's just because the screen is smaller. Like my like caveman brain is like, this character is 4 inches tall because she's like on the screen. Because, you know, like playing a game on a TV, it's like, wow, everything feels so much bigger because it's bigger. I'm so smart. But okay. The next thing that I'll need is frosted glass materials. Because for some bathrooms I have the small windows, but for the other ones, like this one, I assume there'd be either a either frosted glass or a curtain. Ah, this is almost the perfect size. I've been surprised how consistently I've like sized things correctly, because I like looked up common window sizes and then based these windows on that. And then I plopped them into the game world, and it was surprising how frequently it was like, oh, that's exactly what I was thinking of when I made these, like, you know, cut these holes in here. You know, because like here you can see almost the right size, even though I did not design this house at all with these windows in mind. Okay. And as you might imagine, having the same sized windows everywhere goes a long way to making it feel more consistent. Oh yeah, I still haven't done the freaking layout for the interior of the basement. So we still need to do this place. And I'm gonna do, let's do like gravel. There we go. And I guess we do need this exterior, but I'll ignore that for now. But yeah, I still need to figure out, like, what exactly is a funeral like, what is needed for a funeral service? Because I remember distinctly, this is based on a childhood memory I had where I toured a funeral home because it was just in a guy's basement. Like, as part of our school learning, like to learn about other people's jobs, we just went to a local funeral home that was in a basement. And they had coffins, they had, oh, that's a good thing to think about. Because there'd be a separate room for coffin, like there'd be a front room and a back room. Wait, why is this like... Oh, right, because I designed this in a way where, like, deliberately the basement oh, wait, no. Wait, I don't get it. I guess that's fine. Wait, do we even need the... I guess we do need to cut a hole here. We just don't need as big of a hole that I've cut. Alright, well, I'll ignore that for now. So yeah, we need to start making... I think this is the correct height. Let's solidify this. So I think what I want is... Huh, what is the height of this thing here? So we have, like, negative 3.2. Okay. Maybe this is the proper, like, embalming room. This is the front area. And then maybe she wants an extra bathroom down here, so that way she doesn't have to go all the way back up when she's working. Let's do that. I guess that'd be... Oh yeah, we need to do complex. Perfect. 2.2. Brilliant layout, I'd say. In fact, this should probably be wider. Because I think what this would be is there'd actually just be a curtain here. So that way she can, like, basically cart a person here. And then you'd have, like, some way of getting the coffin out. Yeah, this place is not ADA accessible. And also, I'm going to add a little, like, closet in the back here. For all of her various tools that she'll have. I've created so much work for myself with all of these layouts. I kind of want a different window here, like some... I'm going to make a circle window. Because this is right where she does her fortune telling. So it should be a cool window. There we are. See, this is going to be cool. Whatever game I make next, I want to do more surreal science fiction. Or, yeah, I'd say like science fiction or maybe fantasy environment design. Because this is fun, but it is also very normal places right now. I think I just realized that right this moment with this circle window that like I'd like to do more weird stuff like this. Funny shapes rather than boxy shapes. I mean, I guess I could have made the house or made the entire game world less boxy, but like then it wouldn't really feel natural or like appropriate. Okay. Oh wait, no. This is the one that I need. Perfect. And I don't know why I chose to do 15 instead of 16. Because, actually, hang on. I have to... Section occur... Oh, wait, no. I have to delete all of this. Because I need 16. Because I want a cross in between. Well, actually, what if I did thirds instead? One. So we'd have 4 between these. Like that. Except we'd do it... Extrude faces along normals. Right into the center. Now that... Look at this. Actually, these little narrow things. I just realized. I can just do this. Yeah, that's a better idea. Slightly better geometry. And then let's auto smooth. And then also... I mean, let's shrink this down a little bit. So I think what I would do is I would shrink all of these... by their individual origins. Boom. Now we have a quirky little window. Isn't that lovely? All right. Mesh circle. Okay, so this is going to be blue glass collision? No, S body. And this will be blue window collision. I want the thing that I selected last time. Okay, hang on. First of all, what is this plane? Oh, this is the basement interior collision. Right, and I have to do that. There we go. So can I get the glass here? Oh, wait, I think it might be flipped. Might be... Yes, that's what was needed. Basically, you can't select through a back face, even though I can see the back face clearly. There we go. And then I'm going to select this again, reparent that. Now we have a place for psychic visions. So I think what I'd want is for her table to be here. You sit down here, then she has this area, maybe some little curtains. That'd be cute. And so this is the backdrop upon which she will deliver her beautiful fortunes to you. And that also makes it more obvious that she, like, built it herself. Okay, now the real work begins. Which is, I think I'm just going to make a list of windows that we need here. Because I think, for example, these, like, there's a lot of things that could be the same window. But I want all of them, I think, to be custom. Do we want a big... We don't really want... Like, big windows like this don't seem to be the thing here. Like, yeah, this window, that's like a modern house window. We would not have that here. All right, so let's go to exteriors. Where is that? Is it here? It's not in here? Let's just put Wright windows. So like a narrow. So 1.2 up to 3. 1.8 by 0.8. We do width by height. .8 by 1.2 or 1.2 x 1.8 medium window. And these two, I think this should be just a collection of windows. This should be one of the, probably like this medium window. So like medium, narrow, narrow. Then we get our real opulent ones. So I think... Do I want anything fancy with this one? And also, am I married to having the 1.8 meter tall? Because basically that's just because the door was at this height. And I put some arbitrary height here. And now all of the doors are lined up with that. I should probably check some reference. Let's say... I'm wondering if this will get me the vibe that I want. Colonial Gothic. No. Oh, wait. I stumbled into it. Gothic Revival. That's what it is. And then Southern Gothic was also a word. No. Okay, so... Yeah, Southern Gothic is what I was thinking of, I'm pretty sure. Yes. And I'm pretty sure this is literally the house that I used as reference for this. Ooh. Ooh. I forgot. Lots and lots of little slats, because they wouldn't have big panes of glass. They'd assemble a much larger window from these tiny panes. And that is what I'll do. And I really like this diamond architecture, or like this diamond pattern here. So I think I could reorganize these windows to look more like that. It's also funny how the roof here, I've actually unexaggerated it. Like, look at how pointed that is. Look at how massive this whole area has to be. Like, this whole roof goes up to, like, there. So this house is, like, Like, the attic is like 2 stories above the rest of the house. Oh well. My imperfections, my flaws will be forgiven. But okay. So I'll put that in just notes here of like... Like, the one thing that I'm thinking is that I actually would like the windows to be lower to the ground, I think. Yeah, because you can see how here, they actually go up higher and go down lower. So yeah, I think I'm going to redo this loop, for example. All the way around. Oh wait, here we got some fancy stuff going on. So yeah, instead of this being 1.2, we're going to do like 1. And then instead of going up to a mere 2 or 3 meters, we're going to go up to like 3.2. So all of our windows will be even taller than these tall doors. Actually, this still feels like it's not even... Well... Yeah, because, like, look at how much glass there is. I guess, do I want... I guess I should remember, like, do I want that for this house specifically, though? You know, or would I prefer... Yeah, because it doesn't feel... I think maybe if I changed all of the windows, I'd prefer it, but no. I'm gonna make this a bit more constrained still. It's a bit less open than that house. But okay, now let's see what this is. So 0.25 up to 3. Do I want 2. I'm gonna make this 3.25 though. Yeah, so all of these. Well, again, I think maybe I prefer... Well, I think what I could do is I gotta remember there's also gonna be more of an elaborate, like, frame to these ones, because I'm thinking less like this and more like these windows in this frame here. Actually, what if these ones are at 3? Interesting that it, like, changes the origin there. So we have, like, this one be a much larger arched window frame. And then these other ones are at 3. Let's just get this, so like there. That seems right to me. Now I just need to figure out how wide these went. Oh wait, no. I can figure it out from here, because this, so x 7.4 to 9.6, that's 2.2. So 2.2 by 2.75. So this is full window. And then 2.2 x 3 arched window. And then in the back here, we have these little windows, which are curios. So I'm just going to do 2.75 tall, x 9.3, 7.6. That is 1.7, but this is, let's do 1.6. Yeah, because it's 6'9". 1.6 x 2.75. Large window. And I'll use those for these ones. And then, do we want an extra narrow window here? Because this one feels like maybe we want some littler windows. Well, I guess that's fine. Yeah, so we have 5 types of windows, and then 3, or I think it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 attic windows. What is this? What is the approximate size of this one? So we're going Y. So negative 0.4 to 0.45. Let's shrink it a bit and do 0.8. Or maybe like 0.85 by... What's the height of this one? 1.4. Or 1.3 more like. Then we got our big ones. So 1 meter by, this is going to be tricky to figure out. So I'm going to do 1 by, what's our Z here? 0.16, 2. So 2.1. 2.1 plus. This is how I'm going to write down the triangles. Basically, like, this is a rectangle, and then we go an extra this many high, which is 1.9. And I think, do I want to use just the same window for this one? I think we could just make this one extra grand, though. Like, because right now, like, what if we just scaled this up? Like that. Does that feel better? No, I don't like how that looks. In fact, I think I would prefer these two being the same type. So that means that we just have this one left. And then the question is, do I want just the same window here? Like, do I actually benefit from... Like, because we could just have this do the same thing. Which I think would actually look better. Well, actually, now that I've shrunk it so it's actually smaller. Do I prefer that? Hi, welcome back to the stream. I'm deciding if I want how many windows I want for this house. So I think this would be a little bit bigger. And I can just kind of eyeball it right now because I'm going to make these all the same window. Yeah, I can do one for there. Okay. Whew. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 windows to model. Yeah, because my reference here is these sort of windows. So I think what'll help and make it look more sturdy is the fact that all of the windows are made from tiny planes, or tiny panes of glass, and they also have decent amounts of, like, interior support. Because it's supposed to be a very well, I'm still divided. is not going to be as open looking as this house. Well, yeah. It's not going to be quite as many windows as this, but it's still going to be pretty open because it's meant to be a quite fancy house. But okay, so let's start with this. So this is a 2x2 block. So this is our first little window. Oh, I just realized how I can do the little internal slats without driving myself crazy. I can just make a material. This is actually the Wright's house. The Madame Blue's house actually wound up being kind of conventional. Oh wait, I haven't actually been in here. The only thing her house has that's weird is she has a little circle window right behind where she does fortunes. I made a mistake of coming back there, so I'll ignore that for now. Alright, so let's do 0.45 maybe? No, 0.35. Or just 0.3? I'll just do the same thing that I always do. Just 0.1 meters for the frame, which admittedly means that the frames are actually really, really thick. Oop. And actually, I'll keep my strategy here. Okay, so we solidify this. Like that. Let's see if this has... There it goes. Yeah. So here's the Mystic Woman's house. The only weird window is this little, circle window. Which, yeah, I'll figure that out later. Basically, I'll apply all the materials in Godot at once. So we got this is going to be frame, collision, glass, S body. This will have no modifier. Oh wait, did I mess this up? No, I didn't. It just decided to... I don't understand what happened there. Yeah, basically. It also looks cool, I think, is their main reasoning. But actually, now that I think about it, it would be smart to think about, like, maybe she'd have a particular symbol here, because I just did this because I had divided the window, or I'd made the circle out of 15ths, so I was like, well, I can't do, like, you know, I can't divide it into quarters without adding more geometry, so I'll just, like, extrude in these and make a peace sign. But yeah, I could make this an actual symbol. But okay, this is going to be decor. Let's call it... Right. We're going to need a lot of windows here. I guess I'll just save it like that. Okay, so for the medium window, do I want to do anything different? I guess I'll keep it the same way, because it'll be like this. So this will be window medium now. So for this one, what do we do for the X? Oh. There we are. Okay. I guess that's that. For the full window, I think I'd like this little dividing bar. So let's say window full 1. So this now needs to go up to 2.75. .2. So that means each of these goes 0.5 meters. 1.1. There we are. Almost. And then, for my next trick. And eventually I'll apply the modifier and like make this look a little bit nicer. But for now, all we need is these beautiful arches. And I'll also need to do like UV mapping and stuff. It'll be tricky. Okay, so for the fully arched window, they'll be slightly larger and they'll be more like this one. So how would I do that? Full to arched. Actually, let's just call it arched. So we go up another 0.25 meters. We're going to be at a whopping 3 meters tall. Is it still 2.2? It is. I think now what I want is the frame will no longer go all the way up to here. It'll go down a little bit. So yeah, the question on everybody's mind is how exactly will this all connect? Because I think I like having this little triangle there. Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. Let's see. I think it comes to a point at the top. So how would we do that? In a way that... I know. So 1440p, 2.5 minutes, probably either 24 or 30 frames a second. That'd be at least a few gigabytes, wouldn't it be? That'd be pretty big. Now I'm curious. 24 gigabytes, okay. That is pretty big. What do I want here? I think what I want is for these two. Here we are. Now we're getting closer. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do with this section. I think I should have made it... I know what I should do. Let's bring all of this back up. To 2.9. Because what I'll do is I'll have this all be like a window. Let's dissolve these edges. And it'll eventually connect into here. Something like, you know, little window here, little window here. My brain's falling apart. Actually, I just realized something that'd make my life much easier. Add a mirror modifier. Yeah, this will be a tricky one to solve. Maybe what I should do is like draw out a pattern first. And then I can use that as reference to figure out what I want to do. Let's get Krita open, which will take about 15 minutes. Is it? There it goes. Took it a few minutes. All right. Let's do, what are our dimensions here? It's 3 by 2.2, so let's do 1500 by, I've set myself up for failure by trying to multiply 2.2 by 500. Let's do some mental math. So it'd be 1,000 plus 100. Oh wait, I flipped these. 1,100 by 1,500. And this way I don't have to actually like figure out how to draw proportions. But okay. So if we want to use the whole buffalo here, I want it to be not quite that shape. Yeah, this is a little too... There's just a subtle, like, Middle Easternness, I guess, to it. That isn't quite what I'm looking for. Doesn't scream Southern Gothic. It screams more like Taj Mahal. But that particular, like, this right here. Like that. There we go. Okay. So I think what we do in this area here, I don't know. So we'll ignore that for the time being. Yeah. Probably would be. I think what I'll do is like this one, where it makes the wide window out of multiple narrow windows. And even here, it is a bit wide in the ratio. Yeah, I think with this... What if I did it fractally? And then we had another thing down in here. So like it's 4 windows deep. I think the main constraint will be figuring out how to make each of these windows the same. And then we have like our lattice work up here, you know, doing something like this basically. In fact, it'd be more narrow. Okay, I think once I figure out how I want the rest of this to work, this could work. So yeah, my next question is, what do I do with this piece up here? Because I want to use it, I want it to still be mostly, like taking up most of the window. Oh wait, this is the frame. How do we take up space in the rest of this? I mean, we typically just have... What if we did a little thing like this? Loot rosette patterns. Interesting. Hang on. Oh wait, whoops. Wrong button. Interesting. This could be a fun opportunity to do something like this. Because now I'm thinking, what sort of symbolism would I want in our window frames here? Yeah, because this would be kind of sick to have like a, you know, instead of just having, we could have like a little circle here. They'd be like incredibly opulent windows. You know, then you have like what is the tool for doing spirals again here? It's something like multi-paint. Is this it? Multi-brush tool. That's what it is. And then we grab this thing. Move it. There we go. And then I'd eventually figure out how to draw something cool here. What if it were spookier? What if it were like a 5-point symmetry? So it's like an utterly like crazy addition to our like humble little Gothic house. And then I'm going to make a circle using my advanced technique of approximating it using 5 sides, or 5 points. I guess the main constraint now is I'd have to figure out, I guess I wouldn't have to figure out too much. I could draw this as a texture and then put that on top of it. Or, actually, I could even just have one like part of a texture and then like just have it mimicked on all sides. I kind of like just the simple flower design, actually. But okay, that seems like an idea. Now what I need to figure out... Okay, so for the rest of this, they would do basically a recursive version of what I've done here already, anyway. Well, it's more like textured, but basically like... Just kind of have them go like this. Basically what I'd want. Oh, that could be fun. To figure out how to make the shadows cast some interesting shape within the house. Maybe I'll save it for the sequel. But I will put that in the list of things that I could do with it. So yeah, that'll be... save it for the end. Too advanced for me. I think maybe I should save this one for the last. Well, no, let's start this one. Okay, so project concept art, Wright, window. Okay, let's add a reference. Actually, can I set the origin of this? Ah, well. Because it's scaled exactly, I don't have to, like, align things very hard. Ta-da! Now it's perfectly aligned. Though actually I need to use the bathroom. So I'll be back in a bit. Oh yeah, my BRB image is pretty good. I love that frame. Yeah, let's see. One of my first questions will be, how do I actually design these windows? I think first of all, we'll just have the frame itself. And I'll keep it as it is. Basically, I'll like maybe scale this a little bit. So that way we can be like, we can have all of our beautiful circles. Oh wait, I just realized the circles can just cut into the geometry if I want. Yeah, that's probably good. And we'll hide the glass for now. Ooh, my keyboards are cursed. I had to switch back to an old keyboard because my new one, the W key, stopped working, and I like disassembled it, but it's just a rubber mat keyboard, so once it stops working, it really stops working. I may need to invest in a mechanical keyboard at some point, but I just don't want to. Because that means I don't have to do like more work to like make it work. Let's see, so I need to, let's make this little section how do I make this as a little separate piece? Yeah, because I really want a left-handed keyboard. And that'll be a not... What am I doing here? There we go. Yeah, which basically means... So a left-handed keyboard means the numpad is on the left-hand side of all the other letters. And that's really useful because then I can still have the keyboard like centered. Because a lot of keyboards I think were designed before people had their mouse on their right side. So there's like the keyboard's home row is like 6 inches to the left of the center of the desk. And it's just like all this space on the left I can't use because there's nothing over there. Keyless. Does that just mean like no keypad? Yeah. I'm gonna look up what this means. Now, because I still need the numpad, because basically that's how you like do a whole bunch of stuff on Blender. Like that's how you go through basically, wait, why is it not working anymore? Why is my music stopped? There we go, okay. Yeah. The numpad controls all of these navigations, which I use quite a lot. So yeah, I could get a separate numpad, but then it'd be like, I already have a separate numpad for like, as a pseudo stream deck. So then there'd be like, just too many things on the screen. Foot switches could be interesting. Could be, yeah, that could be fun. Like a little activity. Okay, I'm gonna see, how do I want to do, I think this part here will be texture, except there will be a little thing here. And that means this should be much smaller, or much thinner. And I think because of the way this is structured, I would not have this part here. Oh, wait, but I need it to be, for the sake of being mirrored. I need it right now. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to array these. Ooh. That's fun, but not what I need. Yeah, so we'd have these go like that. And so basically the trick would be to figure out how to exactly perfectly center these. This will be like 0.25, I think. But okay, so we already have some weird stuff here. Let's do... So this is all going to be actually solid, except for these circles cut into it. Oh wait, that means that a challenge here is going to be I have to have this arc still look nice. Even though now it's going to be from here. Yeah, how do we... I don't like this edge here. Yeah, our trick is now this somehow has to unify seamlessly. How do they do it in this? I see. They're just more triangular. Yeah, you just get this thing and you just move it up until it matches here. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I needed. So now we have this attaching here, and then this should attach right like here. Like that. And for now, let's just like fill that in so it's not so distracting. And then another trick of it, we have to have it come down this way such that it looks nice. Yeah, because it needs to be symmetrical about this point. And then we'll have this come down right into here. There we go. How does this look? It looks okay. And a lot of the rest of this can be taken care of with the texturing on the glass itself, which will be quite... Well, I think what I can do is just make a simple lattice for this part. Because I'd like to also take advantage of, like, UV jank to make these feel like grids. Actually, we need this to be more pointed. That's getting closer. I think this should be slightly more arched. Meaning these should be slightly more arched. And yeah, a little thing here. I'd like this to be a bit more like that. This to be a bit more... Do I need this at all? Because what I could do, delete these vertices, and these vertices as well. We just have it come out like this. Sort of just attach into here. In fact, that begs the question, do we even need these ones? Because it just, like, comes in like this. Well, no, we do need this, because then it'd be nice to have this be a bit, like, thicker. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this modifier for the array. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, because that causes that. Is there anything else that I want to do with this mesh before I apply this? I don't think so. Everything else will need to be done through the what have yous. We don't need this. Oh, wait. Cursor to selected, origin to 3D cursor. So that way that vertex is there. And that means that now I can make sure that this is exactly aligned. It was mostly aligned. That makes sense. Okay. Why does it keep doing that? How many vertices were there? Oh, wait, no. By distance. Okay. It was because the vertices weren't merged properly. So let's do a similar thing here. Okay. Now we have it coming together all nice. So yeah, now the real question: how do I want to deal with these funny circles? So I think what I'll do is I'll have this do this. And I'll figure out a smart way of dealing with this as a separate mesh or something. I see. This should be there. This whole interior piece... Well, eventually I should, like, apply the modifiers and stuff and then make it, like, nicer, but... I'll need something more advanced for the glass. Cursor to selected, maybe duplicate this one. Let's add mirror modifier. Wait, I want this mirrored, like, relatively nicely. How do I do that? That'll be tricky, because I want it basically mirrored on this 45-degree angle axis. I mean, I guess what I could do is I can figure out where this is. So this is X, Y. Why is this at 0? Oh, wait, no. I see. 2.91. That's what I'm looking at. So let's go to Sublime Text. Alright, I was also thinking of ideas for achievements for the game. So let's see where this is at. Oh, I see. 1, 2.9. That's where the corner is. Wait, does that make any sense? Interior... So what is this? Oh, yeah, I see. Okay. 1, 2.9. That means that this one... So let's do like 0.5... 2.8, maybe? No, 2.7. No, that's too close. 0.45. 2.7. Okay, 0.45, 2.7. So that means we've moved 0.55 and 0.2. So the next one would be 0.8. 2.5535. Let's see if that feels right. Point 0.8. Maybe that's right. This needs to be a constant offset though. So let's move this. Yeah, some fixed distance away from... So if we did 0.8, 2.8, this doesn't feel right. Because the x should be... Because the x is here, 1. Oh, I see. Hang on. First of all... Wait, no, this doesn't matter. Because this is global coordinates. Oh, wait, no, it does matter. Kind of. Oh, I see. Okay, so let's do 2.75, 2.6, or 0.75 here. 2.65 here. So that means that we're 0.15 away. So that means that I've misunderstood my math here. Because that's not at the correct z. And that means this is not at the correct z. Oh. Okay. Now I have successfully mimicked them across this axis a single time. But I don't actually like where they are. What I prefer is this. So let's do like 0.85. Or 2.375. Let's do 2.37. Basically what I'm doing here is trying to get a constant offset. So like this is 0.15. X. And (2.9 minus 2.37). 5.3. So now what we need is 0.53x, 0.15z, and that would be, go back to this, so 2.9. Wait, no. 1 minus 0.53 is 0.47. And then the other one was 0.15, 2.9 minus 0.15, 2.75. Okay, I have mirrored it successfully about an axis. And that means my main question should be, how do I make sure that this is where I want it to be? Hang on, let's do cursor to selected. I think I've scaled this circle now. Let's just put another circle here. It feels like it's not a perfect circle. Well, I'll figure that out soon. What I'm going to do first, though, is get this, like, looking good. Why is it so... Oh, I see. Because they're not all... The normal maps aren't all consistent. I'll fix that soon. There we go. A lot of math there. But okay, now we're set. Whoops. Okay. Put this there. Boom. There we go. Ta-da! Set everything to shade auto smooth. Let's see. There we are. Now all I need to do is figure out if this is what I'm going to actually want. I'm going to move this to be... Eventually I'll figure out those interior things. I think for this I'm going to do 0.15. There we go. Let's add a new collection there. Let's call this ref delete. I can't even rename a collection when it's disabled, or maybe I was just clicking wrong. Okay. Phew. We now have the window. And you can see how beautiful it is. And now I'm thinking, do I want to make, how do I make these consistent? I'm actually going to do cursor to selected, origin to 3D cursor. And then I'm going to make sure that these are all the same. So like this Y. Okay, that makes sense there. Ugh. So now how do I do the glass? Oh wait, I'm also seeing this is not quite aligned. Hopefully that won't be too big of an issue, because what I'm going to do is just cursor to selected. 8. Oh wait, hang on. Let's get all of this to be 0.5. Oh wait, no, not X. We need Y to be 0, I think. Or like 0.05, let's say. But okay, now we can... There we go. Wait, hang on. This is still, like, the correct position, right? Okay. Just feels like it's still a little bit off-center. Oh, wait, I see. First off. That was probably it. Also the fact that the, this is now not quite where it should be. How do we make this look better? I think the first thing, move this way, move this way. I'm gonna like get all of these aligned perfectly. So that way, when I push these up, they should be perfectly symmetrical. Good enough. And for now, just as a placeholder, I'm gonna do plain. Let's call this inner frame collision. And then fancy or like ornaments. And these will eventually not be collision because that'll mess things up, or that'll make things more complicated. And then we're going to have, or I guess because collision detection will be painful. Glass S body. Okay. So yeah, soon I will then fix up those textures, but that'll be once we're doing the texturing. I should have kept Krita open because I'm going to need Krita for the next windows. Okay, so what was the 1.6 by 1.25 large window? I have completely forgotten the context for that window. Oh yeah, it was the windows in the back here. They'll just be rectangles. Or they'll be like these ones. Well, maybe they'll be split vertically. No, I don't care. This is going to be full 2 narrow. Or maybe we can just call it large 1. So that means this needs to be 0.8. Oh, we don't need... Well, yeah, we don't need this. Alright, we don't need... There we go. Dissolve these edges. Well... Oh, wait. Oh, I see. This needs to go up, though. Because this is... Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay. Okay, so I'm hoping these windows should not be as bad. Because, yeah, they're just going to be a diamond shape. I think the arches were what really screwed me up. Okay. Let's go to narrow one. This will be window attic. So what's the width of this thing? 1.3. And what is our width here? 0.85. So that means this needs to be 0.25. Is that right? Check the dimensions of this thing. X, Y, Z. Oh, I see. I 4 point. Okay. Okay, is this 4.25? Okay, now it's 4.25. Actually, I just realized. I can literally just set this correctly. So, like, just do 3.75 here. Negative 0.375. Okay, that took a bit of mental brain exercise that I wasn't equipped to deal with. But okay. This is our attic window. Last but not least, we need a pointed window, which will be 1 times 2.1 times plus that. So I'm just going to... Pointed window. Okay. So first thing to do, get this to 0.95, no, 0.55. 4.5? This should be 0.5? Yeah, okay. There we go. 2.1 would be... Oh. That. And also we clip this. Okay, so this is now 2.1 meters. And then we go up to an extra 1.9. Okay, so that's where that will be. And basically it'd be like that instead of what I have. Okay. And then I'm just going to kind of eyeball this part. I think if we put this at 1.9, that means that I can then have this come inward like that. Do I want to do any of the textures from here? Wait, wasn't I going to do like... So I was going to do 2 pointed triangles in a diamond shape. Do I want to do that? I guess I could figure that out in textures, probably. Yeah, I'll figure that out in textures. Why does this seem... Why is this 2 separate things? Oh, I see. We need to change some faces here. There we are. Okay. Now we have our pointed window. And I think the main thing that I want to do is this should actually have been up here. Like that. And that way all of this is together. Okay. There we are. Okay. So now all I need to do is bring these into the area. And then texture them. Okay, so I'm just going to link all of these at once. Decor, Wright, collection. Oh. And there's a very specific naming that I need. So this was window pointed. Oh. Yeah, okay. Link the next one. Window narrow 1. Window medium 1. Is that what this was called? I've already forgotten. Well, if that's not what it's called, I can fix it. Yeah, it was just called medium. Okay. Window large 1. Window full 1. Window attic. Well, at least I'm getting more efficient at this. I think this sort of like assembly line style of like collecting everything like this and then, you know, doing all of these steps at once. It's not how I typically operate because I like to like, you know, switch context and take breaks. But I do think it tends to be like way easier. But okay, I'm going to parent all of these to the right house. And then I'll parent them to the appropriate floors as I get them. All right, so what is our... So we're 150. Okay. So this is the plan with these ones. Boom. And I'm realizing, I'll keep that as it is. Yeah, you can see our perfection in motion right there. And eventually I'll need the door frame, but that'll be, you know, 15 minutes from now or so. Ooh, how do I handle these doors though? I need to figure out, like, what is this angle? Is it an actual 45-degree angle? Because that's what I was hoping for. No. 40 degrees. Okay, that's not bad. Oh, right. These aren't actually at the same... Yeah, these aren't in the same position because this one is slightly narrower in order to make room for a patio. Hopefully the angle's the same at least. Basically the same. I'm lucky this looks good enough at like a 40-degree angle, because otherwise I have to figure out how to actually get the angle, or like change the layout of the house to make the angle easier to design around. But okay. Now all we need to do is collapse these angles. To make this actually line up nicely. Oh. There we are. We'll just hide all of these, like, little incidents here. Make these look a little nicer. And I think one of my issues will be I should expand out the edges of these windows a little bit because they're at exactly the boundaries of these windows. Oh, I see. That's the thing. Okay. Squeeze these in. Huh, it doesn't show the, doesn't show when I press C, because I'm double pressing G there to get this, and then I press C to extend the line beyond that, or beyond the actual, like, edge. Okay. Put these parented where they belong. I'm sure parenting them, having a nice hierarchy of trees and stuff will do some sort of good somehow. Actually, hang on. What is the height of this here? This is... Z is 0.1646. Why did I set it up that way? I could have set it up any other way. Ah, well. So yeah, we can see the power that I now hold. What is large 1 for? Is it for this area? Yeah, it was for this area. $35 degrees? 30 degrees? Let's round it. 357. Why is it 357? $3 degrees? Oh, right, but this is going to be like, it'll be tricky to figure out that angle. Selection to cursor, no. This. Because it's going to be like 54 degrees. 20, basically 27 times 2. And I got 27 from God knows where. Oh yeah, because it's 150 degrees, which is 30 degrees, which is this and that. Basically, I'm at a level... I don't know how I got that number properly, but I got it. I can do math faster than I can understand how I'm doing the math. So I think people should be nice to me, because I'm autistic. Wrong button. Oh. I have selected the wrong things. Okay, let's squeeze in these ones first. Why did this one not work? Did I just forget to, like, apply that one? I think I just forgot to grab those edges. Did I grab the wrong edges, actually? I'll just figure it out some other time. We got a lot of windows to get through, so I'm going to basically just put all the windows in, do a quick walk, or set up all the materials, do a quick walk through, and then we'll do the long process of doing textures today, maybe. Unless I don't feel like doing it today. But okay, last one. What else have I highlighted? Okay. just a little bit inward. See, this is why we set up our things in very particular ways. I had a beautiful, or this is coming together like much faster than I feared it could have. Ugh. Oh yeah, now we put all of these in. Or are these parented appropriately? Okay, so what else do we have? Is this our... Oh, this is our attic window. Oh, I see. I have something... There we go. Hopefully these are all set up correctly. Yeah, they look about right. And let's double check that these actually like look okay from in here. Not quite. How's the X and Y? There we go. Just our two little teeny tiny things. Okay, and this one's perfect. Kind of. I should also make sure that these were at the same angle.
Will be set to manual following your request. Thank you for choosing High Warp.
So like, what's the Z of this one? 31.292? 31.277? Let's do 32.8. Or 31... Oh. Interesting. Alright, did I, like, mess something up? Hang on. Oh, I see. 31.28. Very important that that 28 centimeters is exactly as it is. Okay. Last of our special windows. Now we just have our standard windows, medium and tall. So everything will be constricted. Yeah, and these are the ones that are going to change the most about the layout of this place. So let's just get all these in here. Boy, oh boy. My work is cut out for me. Wait, why do I have my... I have my tablet here, so I have to reach my arm across the tablet. Hang on. Just move that a little bit. Now, my arm is slightly uncomfortably closer. Oh. All right. Aha. Look at me go. And I think that's all the narrow windows. So soon I will correct all of the like proportions of the walls now that they're like gonna be made even. Okay, keep, yeah, let's just do that. Any narrow windows here? Oh yeah, I'm gonna change this. Hang on. Okay. This one up here as well. And anywhere else that I'd want to use these? No. Ooh. The sheer opulence of having 2 of these windows. Okay. See, now we do more work. Nope. Actually, we should go this way around the wall. That way I don't have to type a negative. And here, yeah, we're just gonna do, actually, I'm gonna cut this whole thing, and we're gonna have 3 windows here. Collapse that. Delete that edge. Dissolve these edges. Well, maybe I'd want, like, do I want anything different here? I'll keep this as it is. Wait, oh, I forgot. Forgot to duplicate this. Then we do that. Then we do this. Let's see, do I want... Nah, I'll just keep this as it is, and I'll do a... that. And I think a similar thing here, where we're gonna have, maybe 2 of these windows, and each of these little segments. Maybe a narrow, and a, I'm imagining, like, have a narrow window and one of these windows. What have I done? Do we want 4 windows here? I think that makes sense. Okay. Nice windowed area. And then... oh, I forgot a side. Okay, so this is the last window that we have. And I think what I'd actually like is 2 windows here. I know, controversial. Phew, okay. Now we have all the windows in place. And I'll also properly parent them. Oh wait, these are all already parented. Yeah, we only need these medium windows now. Where does this pointed window go? I see. I forgot to parent it to there. Oh, okay. Now let's go top to bottom, make sure everything lines up all nice and square. Like this window could be slightly more grandiose, but that's okay. Where was it supposed to be? 0.16? Oh, I see. This window's just higher. I'll leave it as it is. Oh, I see what I can do. There we go. That's what I wanted. And we should probably have then... these should have like a different material inside. So I can actually see the wall. Okay. See, because now all I need to check for is some green. Okay, hide that. Oh, hide that. That. Oh, I see why I keep switching back and forth between X-ray and no X-ray, because it's annoying to have to deal with X-ray in here. Okay, so what is this? So 3 meters, 1.2 meters. Okay. So I think what I'll do is probably just adjust the proportions of all of the heights of these windows. Or like adjust the walls, like the holes in the walls. Well, no, I think it'd be nicer to adjust the proportions of the window frame, so that way, like, there's just a smidge of extra space, or like a smidge of overlap, because yeah, right now, they line up like exactly with the heights. Thankfully, I just have to scale these. Boom. Why do I have vertices? Wouldn't this be easier? What is... Oh yeah, I removed the interior walls, so that's why it looks so, like, empty in here. I was like, why is this just a T-shaped room? Okay. And these were the ones where I actually designed the windows for, so they fit almost perfectly. Okay, I thought the music stopped. It just sounded weird. Okay. That looks good. Then we'll do one final... Oh, I see. I think I messed... I guess I didn't mess these up. It's just these ones I never fixed. Good enough. No windows here? Huh. Okay. Alright. That's good. Ugh. This is probably going to be the most, like, unified house in this entire game, just because, like, all of the windows start and stop at, like, exactly consistent heights. And there's, like, you know, all these standard sizes that I have for them. Okay. Interesting that these windows, though, are not... Oh, I see. Because these are... No, I don't see, actually. Oh, because this is not 1.2. Interesting. Okay, so these all need to go to, Oh, wait. Wait, actually... 18.693. Okay, there we go. Ta-da-da. And these ones are, I think, the ones that I designed these windows after, so they're almost perfect. Okay, I think that's the last of them. Are there any interior windows that I've forgotten about? I don't think there are. Yeah, no. Nope, okay. Ooh, now what I need to do is I need to go into Godot and set up all of the windows that I've just created. Because it looks for, when it imports the scene, it's going to be looking for all of the actual Godot scenes. So we can see that in here. Not finding those windows. Okay, so decor. Right. Hang on, let's also close everything that I don't need. Okay. And let's set up all of our glass processes here. Any other glass? No. Basically, glass has a different collision layer. Oh, it has 8, not 4. Basically, this means that the camera can see through the glass, but the player can't walk through it. Because by default, it just assumes, you know, if it hits a collision, when it's doing all of its logic, it's like, oh, well, there's a wall or something between us. Glass. Yeah, if I were going to do the camera, like, the fanciest possible way, I would do actually, like, entities, like, would put their ID on the screen. That's how most applications do, like, clicking on an entity to select it. There's just, like, a separate buffer where it renders to. But that'd be complicated, and I didn't want to do it. Okay, so we need to go to Environment Decor, right? And I need to make sure there's no underscores in the numbers, because I use logic. Like, I use some hokey logic for that. Because in the process of exporting between Blender and Godot, almost every special character is lost except for underscores and dollar signs, so I have to use like special logic for them. But okay, now what I want is to also put our placeholder glass material. Eventually there's going to be a special material. Let's do something that's going to look a little bit more like it, which is going to be the chain vents. Eventually it'll look more like it. I have to, like, do UV mapping and stuff. Oh wait, no, this isn't going to be any better. Yeah, because that's because the UV maps aren't set up for a lot of these. Let's do... How are so many of these messed up? Because I thought these were just panes. Or just, like, planes that I'd set up. Oh no, I remember now. It's because I duplicated the geometry. Like a fool. The fool that I was to do such a thing. Okay. But let's at least look in the game. Oh, that only took us 2 hours and 45 minutes to do. Ugh. But I guess... Oh yeah, I should also set up the windows for this area as well. Oh, I need to re-import the world. Yeah, so now it should detect all of those windows, and it should load in those prefabs. Boom. There we are. And then I'll even get the UV maps working correctly, but for now I just want to make sure that, like, the scale looks right, that I didn't have any gaps in the walls. It looks so much fancier. Admittedly, it also looks a little, architectural. A little bland. I think that is one of my downfalls as, like, a 3D artist, is I tend to make things so regular and so rectangular. You know, because this is a wacky little cartoon world, but, like, none of the buildings are very cartoony. I suppose I can lean into that, though. You know, because it feels more like those, like, house wads in Doom, where people are, like, recreating their houses realistically, just with, like, low fidelity, which was sort of a deliberate thing. So I suppose that I'll just keep leaning into that aesthetic, rather than any sort of, like, cartoony 3D. Yeah, they're okay. These positions feel about right. I like the opulence of this window, and I think once we have the, like, other, once we have those small panes as textures, this will look nicer. And I'll have some particular, like, I'll do some sort of particular scaling. You know, basically, I'm just going to make, like, a square grid of panes, and then manipulate the UVs to do things like, well, I guess maybe not quite a square pane. Like rectangular panes, like, what ratio would I want? I'm not sure. I guess it is always tricky to do anything other than a 1-to-1 ratio, or like 2-to-1. So I'll probably just do like a 2-to-1 ratio for, like, slightly taller panes like these ones. And then for these, I do like that diamond shape that I can see, like, hinted at. I just realized. Ah, well. Oh. We can zoom in. I guess flashing lights warning. Okay. Is there anything else I'm missing? I guess I'll set up the textures for everybody else. That's gonna be in, here. So all these custom windows, I just have to do by hand. And then hope they don't break, inevitably, when they, like the instant I get a... Alright, let's see. Okay, so I only have one thing selected. Good. Interesting that it has chosen to be invisible. Oh, because the UVs probably. Yeah. It's probably like, you know, the one white pixel. So I'll need to go back and UV wrap these. See, any other places where we have glass? I think we only have these 3 that are like custom windows. Yeah. Everything else is just a standard one. Where's my dang... There we go. Alright, let's see if this pane works. Yay. And it's like Minecraft glass, but not as good. Eventually I'll fix the, it's not a very good texture. Because there's little distracting bits like this that I thought would make it better for, like, larger panes. It doesn't. But okay, let's make sure that I can, like, take photos through the windows and all that stuff. Even though I can't see Madame Blue, for example, in here, I should be able to at some angle. Ah, well. Yes, we can go through those windows. You know, having this UI for the player where, like, they can see exactly what they're going to take a photo of, it's not only useful for the player, but it's also really useful for debugging. Which I suppose is also useful for the player to be like, oh, that's just bugged. Like, you know, it's supposed to do something there. Why is this... I made this sloped so that way the player could get onto it easier, but it's actually made it harder to get on it. Alright. Let's save what I have here. Alright. We should ignore... Actually, yeah, hang on. I'm gonna do... Git... Reset. Not hard. Where's my git ignore? This did not work, ever. Well, maybe it does. Star.blend 0 through 9. There we go. Let's say modeled and placed. Remaining windows. Beautiful. And then also... let's do interactive star.blend 1. Wasn't I... like, let's just do that. Okay. Can I also do that for KRA tilde? PNG tilde? Okay, so I think I do have... I think I did correctly set up. Or I think this does work. Okay. Perfect. Alright, let's fix some textures, let's fix some models. I see here, for example, this is still like, just move this down a little bit. Like, what am I doing here? I guess I didn't want this to go too low, but I can just raise that up there. Boom. And that means I should also make that a little lower, for example. And sort of reduce the amount of like overlap that we have with the terrain. Move this inward a little bit like that. What if we have this just go like that? I don't like that very much. Okay. I think what I need is that. Okay. Get these. And now I'll show you the power of follow active quad. All of these are fucked up and incorrect. But it followed the active quad. So at the very least, I can now just come in here and do like a UV editor. That's what I need. Okay. So I'm gonna like match this all up. Actually, and let's move this so that it's a little bit more regularly spaced. Okay. See, that's better. Hang on. Follow this active quad. There we go. Now this is all nice. Kind of. Hang on. Let's do like there. Okay, now it's a little bit better. So now we have a place where they can like have a truck come back here maybe. So it would like, I don't know how on earth it'd pull in. Probably pull in like this, then reverse this way. Be a complete nightmare. Let's just move this up a little bit then. There, see, now it logistically makes total sense. Now it's perfect. Let's also make this a little nicer. What is this? Why are these all like not designed the way that I wanted them designed? Who designed this? Who modeled this? I need to have a talk with them. Why are these even here? Like, look at this. Almost all of this geometry is underground. Yeah, well. Worse things have happened in the world. Okay, so let's fix a couple things. Oh yeah, I forgot It's this way. Yeah, that's good enough. And I think everything else was already modeled, or already had UVs properly. So that means that these are now the main priority. So let's do this. What color do I want for this? I guess I'm not sure. Do we have grids? I think I have them in big paint. Yeah. Let's do like 8. Okay, so I'm thinking 2 pixels wide. Or maybe even something slightly more intricate. I don't want this, actually. Gonna have that. Then we're gonna do... Oh wait, I just realized I have the power. Every time I dart my eyes across the screen, my eyes like bleed from this. But okay. So what else do I want? I want these areas to be a little thicker, I think. What if we did like this? No, I don't like that. Why is it constantly pressing 2 pixels? I don't like this. Hang on. Okay, I see. Because it was, the brush size was probably 2 pixels. Okay. So now what we need is... If we have it like this, it'll be horrific to work with. But this will mean that it'll be good. I'll show you. Okay, let's do what do we need? Environment, decor. Oh wait, no. We do this in textures, I think. Environment textures. Right. There we go. So window 1. Okay. Now we just go back through all of our windows. The tricky part is going to be the fact that transparency doesn't work. Because basically what I want is, well, do I care that much right now? Not really. Let's just go to UV editor. Textures, right, window 1. We're going to unwrap angle based. So what exactly do I want the standard to be? I guess just for this one. Hang on, let's do cursor. I want this to be like 2 of these wide. And then this one I want to abuse the UV mapping somehow. Image texture. Let's do... Oh, okay. It works because it treats this as a gray. Okay, that's good. Why is this not like... Oh, I see. Because this one... Yeah, so now I need to figure out how I'm going to do something similar to this here. What if I first made it so that it was square? I think I may need a better strategy for that. For now, I'll just leave it at that. Okay. I won't do anything too crazy yet. This is going to be fun. Actually, I just realized I don't actually care about that because I can just do a UV edit. Okay, let's go to my windows. What are we on? Window attic. Take your time, Godot. Okay, so now what we're going to have instead of this is we're going to do... Make a unique material. Transparency will be alpha scissor. And the secret. So the reason I would have that as well is, let's see, how big do I want? So how wide is this thing? 0.85. We actually do need the image in here. This is going to be hard to set up consistently. Oh wait, no. I don't quite want this. I want the other way around. Or... Okay, that seems a little bit better. So I think what I would do... Let's go back to the pointed window. Do I want to scale that up by 1.5? Why does this seem so different than this one? Like, this one seems... Huh. I'll leave that as it is. Okay, also, I should make sure that this window... Okay, so we should have this now. Save as window 1 material. textures, right. There we go. And also, yeah, that threshold is fine. I guess it won't be too noticeable. Okay. It'll be fun doing this for every single texture. I should have done the textures, or set up the materials first then. Oh well. And also the fact that this... Ah, well. So I think this one will be 3 wide as well. Because it's, what's the dimensions of this thing? 0.8 meters? Okay, yeah. The other one was 0.85, so it'll be about the same. Let's put these on everything first. And yeah, I'll need to think about colors as well. Okay, so narrow 1. Yeah, I like that. This one feels wrong, though. Like, it feels like the scale... I guess it's because I had to make it a line, so it's slightly different. But yeah, that seems fine for now. Next one is large 1. Hang on. Okay, so what is the dimensions? What's the ratio of this thing again? So this is twice as wide as the other one. So it should be like 3 and then 2. See how that feels. Not bad. I think I need to scale it up a little bit more, because you can see how it doesn't quite align with the grid. Oh wait. I need the material. Hang on. Thankfully, it's actually not that hard to get it. Yeah, now I can actually edit it in real time. So yeah, I think I'll just fiddle with these until we get like exactly what I want. Boom. Every time. So, admittedly, well, I'm fine with that. Well, no, because these ones are taller. Yeah, I think I much prefer this scale. So it's the 4x5. Yeah, so I'll have to go back to each of these other ones. But I'll do that later. Image texture open. Right. So this one is basically, I'm going to treat it the same size. And these should both be like there. Wait, are these? These should be in the same spot, right? I see. Basically, I just need to like make these a bit more aligned with each other. Do something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe that's fine. Yeah, each of these panes of glass will be different. Okay. And for now, just for a placeholder, basically good enough. Wait, why is this? I see. I don't like that very much. So yeah, that one will be completely bespoke. And I think that means... Okay. For that, let's do that. And then this one. There we go. So yeah, now, width of whatever this, well, they're inconsistent. Okay, let's go back to attic though. All right. Get another attempt at this, or get another look at this. But okay. It's getting less and less janky by the day, except this part is still janky. Incredible. I think it's because I need to just move the road down. I mean, I've said it before, but basically, one of the flaws of my design is the fact that the ground or the sidewalk has to sit above the ground, because otherwise the geometry would get really fucked up if I tried to like model it in there. There we go. Look at those. And they're basically consistent. So like the narrow windows have 3, the medium windows don't have any because I didn't set them up. Because I forgot that I forgot that these were the thing. Okay. Good thing I remembered that this recently used folder is here. Okay, UV editor. Window 1. So I think it's going to be a little bit like this. And then we do that. Okay. I think for the pointed windows, they would look a lot better if I actually properly textured them, but I probably won't just because I can't be bothered. And then my next step is texturing these bad boys much nicer. I'm thinking basically each pane of glass would have its own UV maps. This one, the narrow ones, I think they'd look better if I reduced, so let's go to narrow. Wrong window, so this is going to be glass, and we're going to put it there and not here. Yeah, that's better. Ugh. Okay, so now the scale is pretty consistent, except for the arched windows. Yeah, so we can see these windows are made of like a bunch of tiny panes of glass. Some of them are larger, like these ones, very fancy, very snazzy. Yeah. Let's fix up the pointed window. Basically, oh wait, I see the issue. Oh wait, no, I don't see the issue. There we go, now I do. And I think for now, what I could do so I can make this, let's just keep it a similar consistency. And that also means this corner will be lined up. Yeah, that makes the most sense for me. Okay, now we need to go back to the arched window. So here, First step. This is its own thing. Actually, and let's just dissolve these vertices, because we're just gonna mirror this bad boy and clip it and merge it. So I think my first mistake was having the geometry go all the way to the center, but oh well. How many panes of glass would I want? Actually, I just realized. Each of these is going to need to be a separate thing. It's like this one, it goes like probably... Let's do that. Oh wait, no, I don't want... We want this back to the world origin. Yeah, okay. Try to figure out... I think 2 panes makes sense here. Yeah, that makes sense. And then let's get both of these, scale them until this works. Okay, let's go to the arched window. Feels like it's taking like 25 minutes per thing, but... Like, why does it take 15 years for that? Oh well. Let's remove clipping. I think what I want is somehow to make an interesting thing in here where basically I manipulate each of these. Hang on, I'm gonna do let's go to the texture sampling closest. There we are. Huh. What did I say would be good in here? I didn't specify anything. What looked good in here? Triangles. So the way that I imagined that happening is basically we line this up like that. Hang on. I guess not 0.5, because I want it to be there. Okay. So let's do 5.17. Oh, 0.517. Then same thing here, so it's symmetrical. And then we're going to bring these down like that. And then physically bring this one down. So that way it kind of mimics the look, you see? So now it kind of resembles what I was going for. There we go. Okay. And then what I need to do is figure out this monster. Okay, let's make sure that this is where it should be. Basically. Make these... Hang on, let's do like a... Trying to make sure that this all looks good. There we go. Okay. Interesting that this does not line up with these. Oh wait, that makes sense because this was completely arbitrary. So I should have done cursor to selected and then aligned these there. Did I somehow like misalign these again? Hang on, I'm gonna try to make sure that these are like all nice. You know what, let's just fucking put these like that. Well, I can just make them look better. Yeah, because the main thing is they're not even aligned with the things here. Yeah, because they're not symmetrical here. I made them symmetrical in the UVs. But okay, first of all, get this like that. And get these like that. Something like this, maybe? Maybe like that. Okay, and then this one, though. Thank you for rotating it at an angle, Blender. That's going to make my life a lot easier. But okay, what I wanted for here... I don't know again. Diamonds. A diamond lattice. How do we make a diamond lattice here? I think we need to cut a seam right here. Oh. Interesting that these... Okay. At the very least, they're angled like that. So yeah, the tricky part is the fact What if I just get this thing? So we grab this. Get this thing selected. Get these vertices. Then set the origin of this to the 3D cursor. And then what I can do is I can fiddle with this and now it's symmetrical. Because yeah, the real question is, can I make it a diamond? Hang on, we need a... I'm going to put this right here. Let's put this in the center here, and then I'm going to line this up. That didn't do anything. I need this to be almost, basically square here. Oh wait, but that's not going to make it square anywhere else, because now it's like, you know, because now this way it's even more disoriented. Because yeah, I'd basically need to get some arbitrary axis. Well, actually, not even an arbitrary axis. I'd basically just do it like this. Until it kind of works. I think. What I might do, just kind of fiddle around. You know, make something like this, where it then, like, aligns with the grid here. Does that. And, you know, here, do, like, I guess maybe I could put that there the whole time. Do I want anything more? I'll just call that good enough for now. Apply that. Apply that. Good luck to me figuring out how to do the middle one. I guess it won't be as bad, actually. Cursor 2 selected. Oh wait, I just realized. This is literally just 0. Like, I just put this at 0. Yeah, look at that. Incredible. Okay. Oof. Yeah, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna be enjoying trying to figure out what the heck I'm gonna do with this thing. I guess I'll do a similar thing. Yeah, because what if I, for example, rotate this? What if I rotate everything except for that? Oh wait, that's exactly the same thing because it's 1 point. What if I then rotated these, for example? What if we had these here? What if this was moved, like... Hang on. I'm gonna bring this back up to where it was. Okay, there we go. Let's clip this. Okay. Basically what I'm envisioning now. Pretty simple little variation. Basically something like this for the time being. Then you can push this inward a little bit, like this. And I kind of want these to be a little bit like this. Pretty messy, but it's okay. Okay. Wait, I just realized I can do 3D cursor, S Shift Y 0. Boom. Now this is exactly where I want it to be. Actually, I don't need that at all because I'm going to do a circle here with 5 points. And then instead, S, Y, 0. Also no clipping because I need to fix this. Oh, interesting. Huh? Okay, whatever. Do this again. What I wanted was to get this, go to S, Y, 0. There we go. And now it should be aligned with that. And I'm realizing I've made a mistake in the fact that a pentagon will simply not fit into here. As in, yeah, I'll need to compress all of these. Boom. And this should hopefully be a perfect pizza slice. There. And now what I need to do, mark seams. There we are. These are going to be some messy ones. But basically, I'm envisioning each of these is positioned perfectly in line. Uh, 72 degrees? There we go. Also, there we go. Okay. So now, my plan is in motion. Huh. I mean, that works. That wasn't what I was envisioning, but that's just good enough, basically. And honestly, I'm fine just duplicating this. What was this? 0.57 negative? No. I should not have closed that file that I had that showed where these were exactly. Because now what I have to do is put this in there. Actually, I have a better idea. You know what? Fuck it. Put a circle here. It's gonna be like a 4-pointed circle. That's a square. An 8-pointed circle. That's better. Actually, maybe 6 for a 3-pointed. No, I think I'd prefer 8. And basically what I'm going to be doing here is just the same thing as elsewhere. Material. So this is glass. And what I'll do is I'll duplicate this. Merge all of them. They'll be all nice. Mark seams. Okay. Oh wait, I just realized a 4-pointed shape with this symmetry is a swastika. Unless we could do it like this. And then maybe scale this up a little bit so that way there's some like I have to figure out how to make this look all nice. So like, would we want some L-shaped panes? Is that acceptable for us? I mean, I guess we could just do like little panes like this. What if we fiddle with these? Did these do anything weird? Oh, we could do this. Oh, wait, no. We can't fiddle too much with those. Yeah, because these have to be mirrored. Why do these have to be mirrored, though? Let's stop fiddling with those. Yeah, that's fine. Cursor to select. No, wait, no. Do that. Do that. And then join these. There we are. Now, these are the wrong thing. I did that wrong. Are these like... Oh, I see. No, I don't see. There we go. Okay. Get these. Merge with these. Then we do SY0. Now everything's correct and everything's right in the world. And I'll just unwrap this for the sake of it. Unwrap this for the sake of it. There we go. Now we got some funny little panes. They're not as elaborate as I was thinking of them being, but that's okay. I'm kind of lazy. I didn't want to do much work anyway. I'm curious how this body works. Okay. Let's admire my work. Because yeah, I've gotten now as much mileage out of this one texture as I possibly can. I'm pretty sure. We got 0 texture budget in this game. I mean, these windows are just nice looking, I think. Well, I mean, you can tell that I was kind of cheaping out on the textures. But they get the gist of it. And sometimes that's all that I can bother doing. I mean, I suppose most of the time. But yeah, I think the next things to consider are what color do I actually want these windows to be? I guess that'll be... Once I've gotten all the exterior modeling done, I'll try that. And how's this looking? It looks like glass. Nothing fancy with it. Well, admittedly, it just looks transparent rather than like glass. One of these days. But okay, I think that is a convenient time to call it. Because I've done the windows. I set myself, or I decided that this was going to be door day. Did not get to the doors. But that's okay. Next time we'll do doors. And they'll be probably less elaborate, since there's less of them. Well, I don't know, we could have some fancy doors here. I'll probably just take the window and turn it into a door. I do quite like that window. Okay, but next time, we'll do doors. We'll continue the exterior work. We'll make the game all pretty for a trailer that consists of me just walking around in places that are already done, instead of places that aren't. Okay. Texturing the windows. This will be a big pull request, or push request. Oh, not that bad. Okay. Well, that'll be it for today. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to get back into the regular schedule of things. But thanks for stopping by. See you later.